Yuan Tong, Ming. It's Sunday evening here in Europe. So it's time for Yuan Ming free flow web class. Today we'll be looking at indecisiveness. From now on, as we have way more time now in the web class, because we don't have to get through that much theoretic information, meaning information off the page, meaning reading Jance's information. There is a bit, there is always 2 to 3 pages to each pattern. But that means that we have a bit more time left, which, well, I'm very happy about, actually. My personal favorite is to simply unify with the Qifield and see what's happening in that moment, at that time, in the Qifield, and what information is there. So when I open my heart and my Shen and unify with the Qifield, with even more purpose than during the day. So, well, more purpose, that might be not very wisely chosen, that word. When we think about connecting with the Qifield, it's always purposeful, and it's always with the intention to grow, to connect with wisdom, to connect with love, to connect with support. When teaching, there's always more awareness present about, or an increased sense of, hey, we are more, we are together, we are connected. And so the intention feels stronger. This is probably what I meant before with more purpose. So since we have more time, we can focus a bit more on silence and on being in the state of our Wu Xin 5 hearts, or 5 heart qualities. We can spend a bit more time on allowing ourselves go deeper and deeper and deeper into unification. So this is my favorite thing, actually. But I did choose I did choose the way to do these series of classes, meaning reading Jance's information, for a very particular reason. I am so very grateful for having found Jance in my life. I am so incredibly grateful for receiving the teachings of a human being who managed to do all that difficult work and the difficult experiences, and also the beautiful work, the beautiful experiences, but also the obstacles that come along on the path to becoming the true self. And I have so much awe and, well, gongqing for him. I find his information so fulfilling. And I have such a strong connection to Yangtze in my heart. I am sure you all know what I'm talking about, since you are studying Renshe and applying Renshe in your life. That I wanted to use the Qifield of the class, of the web classes, to get this information out into the world so that it is available, trusting that people can connect with it, even when they do not participate in the teacher's training just yet. The information that Yangtze gave us about the pattern is carrying so much information about the totality of human life. Even so, of course, since it's written down, it is always limited when we work with totality, and in words, of course, it will always be limited to a degree, but there's always the heart-to-heart transmission. And so there's so much source of information there. And I have chosen to, let's say, miss out on my own comfort a little bit in reading the information in this series. Happily, because I do believe that the way Yangtze puts out information is a very special form of information and, an overview, and one gets a really deep understanding in a way from the information. And no matter from who else we are going to learn in this life, in your case right now, with me, you're learning with me as well. And other teachers from around the globe, maybe. Yeah, this is just a choice I made for me. And for you, and also for everybody who yet hasn't found their way to the understanding that there is something like a true self, who think realization or self-realization, wisdom and enlightenment are concepts way out there, or maybe even unimportant, or not realistic, actually. Choosing to do the work, to become a true self, to dig your true self out, to replace so many unhealthy patterns as possible so that the true self can absorb us, and so we can become the truest self, the truest state of being of a human being, is quite a big choice, is quite a significant choice. It's quite a brave choice, a very courageous choice as well, because a lot of effort is needed, especially looking into the patterns is, something that the mechanism of hiding and avoiding, or avoiding and hiding pattern in itself makes sometimes quite difficult to overcome. As far as I can see for many. So, in my understanding, although this is, so to speak, in brackets, my web class, I always feel the connection to humanity. I always did. And Jante's information for me is, yeah, well, my word would be genius, the real word, or the most real word, and definition probably is wise, a very wise way of receiving information. And so I just really want everybody to have access to that. So I don't regret using this type of teaching in my web class, but I'm also happy now to get back to a little bit more time to just allow my heart and my Shen fly with the information in Qifield, and especially to have some time for silence. This is why today I have chosen no song before class, no music. The music before class today was silence. And we are going to also connect with that information now a bit more, to allow yourself to go into silence, into the silence within. The silence within your heart, within your whole self, and the silence between words, the silence between things to do, the silence between thoughts, and definitely the silence between choices, the silence between decisions. How many of these decisions are we having to make each day? Are we allowed to make each day? So we're going to be listening into the information of indecisiveness. And we're going to see how we can make decisions in a way that doesn't stress us out, that doesn't make us feel pressured, that doesn't make us feel or give any insecurities. That gives us clarity. And there is many decisions each day. Actually, there is one decision we can make each moment. And this decision is, am I choosing my true self? Am I choosing to do the things so my true self can absorb me? Am I choosing my true self? Do I give myself permission to be my true self? Do I give myself permission to be relaxed and to be calm, to have the Qifield and the information of wisdom transform me? To be the true self, we basically have to choose each moment to become aware of any attachment and to choose a way how we can replace this attachment. We can choose to do the unhealthier thing and we can choose to do the healthier thing. We can choose to do the wiser thing or the less wise thing. And very often it might feel like that we don't have a choice, because there is also the total reality. And that means that things happen that aren't without or within our control, things that are outside of our control. So when we walk this path, to our true self, we are making this decision continuously. Do I choose my state? Do I choose to attach to a story of something being hurtful, of something being unfair? Do I choose to connect with the story or attach to the story of this shouldn't be this way? Or do I choose silence inside of me? Do I choose to relax? Go ahead, maybe lift up your hand with me together and just stretch it out, open it out. Open it out and really stretch your fingers, bend them all backwards as much as you can, and now choose to relax it. Feel the difference in your hand now. A few seconds of tension and one thought of conscious relaxation. This was one choice. Now choose to relax your whole body. Then go ahead and choose to expand yourself, becoming one with the universe, its chi and its information of wisdom. Now choose your awareness to bring in all of that wisdom, all of that information. Yes, carried by chi, but mostly it is information that transforms us because it's the information within the chi. Allow it to stream in and give yourself the permission to become your true self. Give yourself the permission through your choice, the choice of what you do with your awareness, to be transformed. Make the choice, if you like, to be transformed by the wisdom of the universe. No matter what. Observe the chi around you, either with closed or open eyes, wherever you are. And as we will listen to the information from Yansen, and later on when we're going to practice Ling Yuan, if you like, keep this awareness up, this choice to permit yourself the choice of being the true self. Can we choose to not attach no longer, or to no longer attach to doubts, any doubts that it is impossible for you? Why should you deserve it? Or that's inattainable? And especially, can you find the courage inside of yourself to at least make the choice to not waver again in that the true self and the effort to allow it to come out is a wise choice. And we don't need to waver with that anymore, ever again. You can connect with open or closed eyes. It's up to you. It's your choice. Connect with your heart and connect with the Ling Yuan Qifield, the Qifield of self-inquiry. And since we are working with the pattern of indecisiveness, maybe you can find the courage to inquire into, can I put true self-development first and foremost in my life? Can I put learning to make choices from my heart first of everything? You know, when we are our true self, this is when we can stop harming ourselves and others. So you can also put the question to yourself like this: do I want to make the choice to accept all that needs changing so I can stop harming myself and harming others? You don't need to find an answer now. You don't need to know. This is the beauty of the Ling Yuan Qifield. This is the support you will receive simply in making the choice to connect to the Ling Yuan Qifield, to trust the Ling Yuan Qifield. Simply open your heart, your consciousness, with the willingness of inquiring into what's blocking the possibility of the true self being present at all times. That's all that Ling Yuan is. It's very simple. Opening, connecting to and with the Ling Yuan Qifield, the wisdom of the universe. Giving yourself permission to find answers to the questions. But all you have to take care of is the openness and the courage to post a question to yourself, to inquire. You will receive the answers. You don't even need to really understand when I read out the words from Janssen. If you can't compute them while I'm reading, it's because it's read out from a phrase in a linear way. Just know that there is the Qifield carrying the totality of that information, no matter if you can focus on the words or not. Simply choose the silence between the words. Simply choose the silence inside. Simply choose to observe it and allow it to transform you. If this all sounds wise to you, you can make a decision now. Do I want to be the true self? You don't need to be perfect. You're still allowed to make mistakes, and you will. But to make a choice can be a very, very strong driving force and motivation. And it can help you endure many things. It can even dissolve the sensation of something needing to be endured. Whatever situation we are in because the laws have made it this way, because it is the way it is due to many laws. So we can choose to accept this situation. And with that choice comes the possibility of another choice. And that is the possibility of change. That is the possibility of seeing the possibilities. And that's a choice that will bring you the power of your heart to be able to connect to creative ways. So the pattern of indecisiveness in its unhealthy manifestation, or the pattern of making a decision to, no matter what, letting yourself become the true self, is one you can remake in every moment. And then life will change profoundly. And then there's other choices to be made. But for now, you can ask yourself if indecisiveness and being the true self has any sort of connection within yourself. If there is any relation between being the true self and indecisiveness in your life. And if you like, draw back the vision if you haven't yet, gently closing your eyes. And we're going to do some pulling chi into the silence and into the powerful field of information. Opening out, becoming one with the universal chi. Draw in, thinking deep inside. Pull out. Pull in more. and more silence, calmness, open, calm, close, hold, open, calm, close, hold, calm, hold, calm, hold, calm, hold, calm, hold, calm, hold. Actively open, close your consciousness, your heart, your chi. Calm, hold, calm, hold, calm, hold, calm. Om. 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 Allow yourself to be filled by the Qifield and its information. Connect your Shin Ling, your heart consciousness, with your Shen Yi. Allow all the questions of Ling Yuan to come up and activate the support of the Qi field, the universe, and your Shen's wisdom to bring you information how to choose wiser in your life and in every moment. The pattern indecisiveness refers to the mentality and refers to the behavior of hesitation, feeling torn, and the inability to make a judgment, a choice, or a decision when it is necessary. Related patterns include on the Shin Ling level insufficient trust, insufficient openness, difficulty in accepting. There is other related patterns like unfounded suspicion, fixed expectations, stubbornness, negativity and pessimism. Go ahead and try to see the relations between your own indecisiveness and the pattern of unfounded suspicion. Or see the relations between fixed expectations and decisiveness. Between stubbornness and indecisiveness. Negativity and pessimism. Seeking maximal certainty. So what could be a correlation between indecisiveness and the unhealthy pattern of seeking maximal certainty? Excessive expectations. Approval seeking. The urge to control. Or between indecisiveness and to be tormented by loss and gain. This pattern, indecisiveness, can affect one's ability to make judgments and decisions, to take action and exercise creativity. It can limit the quality and development of many aspects of life, including learning, daily living, and work. It can also seriously hinder a person's growth. See, here we have another proof, if you like to, that trusting the Qifield is a very good choice. I haven't read this pattern in, I think, at least 2 years. And now that I read it and what I just said, or what I was putting into the Qifield before, the information I picked up on in the Qifield, well, it seems to be the same thing. So this is good for my own further work on avoiding and hiding, but it's also for you very helpful to see when I can pick up information from within the Qifield. You can do that too, because information in any Qifield is real. Even in a Qifield, okay, let's call it this, even in a field where there is not as much Qi, there is always an information field. And depending of how strong the information is in itself can depend on how powerful a field can be. So here's a few examples for indecisiveness. For some time, there has been tension in your relationship with someone. Several times you have been close to taking the initiative to express your goodwill in order to improve the situation, but still cannot bring yourself to put that intention into real action. You cannot be completely sure whether this is the right action, and you keep having the thought that the problem has been there for too long now. Another example is, I really want to use Renshe to help people, but can't turn my desire into action because I'm afraid of public speaking. And also, I'm not sure if I could do a good job. What if I failed? And here's one more example for indecisiveness. I have a strong desire to grow. Although I have been making some effort, there hasn't been any obvious progress. I know how important it is to change unhealthy patterns. However, I can't seem to arrive at a place where I feel ready to fully commit myself to working on patterns. Now connect with your heart and allow the relatively healthier consciousness and behavioral replacement patterns, the information for replacement in. We can cultivate the 5 Shin qualities, Wu Shin, especially trust and openness, and other Shin qualities such as accommodation, inclusiveness, tolerance, understanding, and acceptance. So especially trust and openness, and also accommodation, inclusiveness, tolerance, understanding, which all belongs to accommodation, and acceptance. Another replacement information is to examine and explore the related patterns listed above, and more, to identify the patterns that are related to your indecisiveness. Including these patterns can make your work on the pattern of indecisiveness more efficient. Actually, this principle applies to all the patterns. Here comes very powerful replacement information as well. We see making the right decision or the right choice as something of utmost importance, because we think that a decision or choice can be either right or wrong. However, this could very well be a misconception. Sometimes the important thing is how to best use the decision or choice we have made. So not so much what type of decision we made, but how to use the decision we made. Perhaps we need to choose one standpoint and abandon the other one. Can you see why making decisions can be so difficult for us humans at times? Because even within making a decision, you have to make many decisions. Yeah. So when you relax and unify and connect to your heart and the wisdom of the universe, you will find many more standpoints. And so you can choose some others that you usually used, and you can maybe abandon some that have been your opinion until now. But very often, it is really choosing your heart only. You can observe your own opinion, and you can even observe, this is my opinion. But when you allow yourself to connect to your heart and to connect to the wisdom of the universe, you can sort of go, well, I can see that this is my opinion. So my point of view. But then when you allow yourself to connect, you will feel some sort of interruption of flow, some sort of blockage, some sort of tension, some sort of, I know it's my opinion, but it feels not right. So why do I keep holding on to it? And even if we don't have an answer, we can try and say, okay, I'll just allow the other ones to be there present too, the other opinions or the other viewpoints. Or, okay, I don't have another one yet, but at least I make the decision to allow the space for this doesn't feel quite right. And this feeling comes from the heart. And when you allow that to be present, then you will be supplied by the universe, by your Shen, with other information eventually or right away, depending on. As long as we maintain a sound frame of Shin and mind, also heart and consciousness, mind, also a happiness and sense of well-being can then be created. Furthermore, if we cannot stop wondering whether the decision we are making is right, we cannot truly enjoy life even when the decision is actually right. Yeah. So if you keep being worried about your decision, if it's a right one, there is no joy to be had, not one moment of silence and calmness, even if it's right. If one is constantly trapped in the pattern of indecisiveness, it could be worse than making a decision that might not be completely right. When it is hard to make a decision, it might be worth examining your motivation closely. Motivation is important because sometimes hesitation comes from Shin and Shen's conscience. So your heart's and your true self's conscience, which doesn't allow you to be driven solely by selfishness. It is noteworthy that a decision driven solely by maximizing personal gain can often lead to regret, whilst a decision driven by good intention and kindness normally does not. Now allow yourself to go into a deeper state. Trust the Qifield. Open to the Qifield. Love the changes happening. Be grateful and be in awe of the mechanisms of your heart, Shen, E, and human life. Wisdom is growing. inside of you in relation to indecisiveness. Now simply follow your wisdom and your silence and your heart with any type of information coming up. Gently draw back to your heart all the information Observe the calmness. Observe the silence between the thoughts. And from your heart, open to the universe and draw all the chi information back to lower dantian, to anchor it in lower dantian. And open up your legs. Bring chi into your kidneys. Rub chi into your kidney Qifield and then tap chi down all the way to the feet. And back up. And if you like, you can rub your hands, gather chi into the head and face. You can gently open your eyes if you like. Thank you. Thank you for choosing to practice calmness and unification. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing to be a human being that works on one's patterns of the consciousness. Thank you for choosing to do that, because like this you are increasing the level of wisdom in the Qifield of human consciousness. And this way you will harm yourself and others less and less and less. And you are inspiring many others to do so simply through being. Yuan Tong, Ling Ming.